Elena's story began in a coastal village nestled between the sapphire sea and rolling hills of olive groves. Her father was a fisherman and her mother a baker. Their lives governed by the steady rhythm of the tides and the comforting aroma of fresh bread. In this world, Marco was her constant, the boy from the boat next door with whom she shared secrets under star-strewn skies. They built sandcastles that the sea claimed every evening, a lesson in impermanence they were too young to truly grasp. By the time Elena was 17, their childhood friendship had blossomed into a quiet promise made under the shade of lemon trees. They planned to marry, raise children, and perhaps open a small trattoria by the sea. However, the distant thunder of war began to roll across the horizon. What started as whispers soon became a storm that reached their quiet coast, bringing letters that pulled the young men away from the sea and toward nameless battlefields. On the docks where they once dreamed of adventures, Elena said a tearful goodbye to Marco. He squeezed her hand and begged her to wait, promising they would return to finish the tapestry of the life they had started to weave together. Waiting became a peculiar torment for Elena, a dull and constant ache that defined her days. Every sunrise brought a flicker of hope that was inevitably extinguished by the dread of the sunset. The village changed as news became scarce and rumors grew plentiful. The women learned to read the silent grief on the faces of those whose loved ones would never return. This shadow lengthened over the cobblestone streets until one autumn morning when a military official arrived with a telegram. Elena knew the truth before a single word was spoken. Marco was gone, lost to a flash of cannon fire in a distant field. The world went silent, and the sun seemed to lose its warmth. It wasn't just a person she lost that day, but the entire future they had envisioned together. The planned trattoria and the laughter of their unborn children unraveled in an instant, leaving her feeling like a thread cut from a loom, dangling and useless. Grief became a heavy cloak that muffled the world and silenced the music of her soul. She stopped visiting the docks, as the sea that once represented play and possibility now felt like a vast, cold tomb for her lost dreams. Despite her despair, life possessed a stubborn insistence on continuing. Elena's mother refused to let her daughter waste away, reminding her that her hands were still strong and the loom of life was still standing. Slowly, Elena began to mend, joining the other women in the fields and helping her mother in the bakery. During this time, a new threat appeared in the form of Antonio, a quiet fisherman who had lost his own family to the war. He didn't try to replace Marco or fill the silence with empty words. Instead, he offered a steady, silent presence. He would leave fresh fish on her doorstep or offer a simple nod as he passed, acknowledging their shared status as survivors of a broken world. Their connection shifted during a violent storm that threatened to destroy the village's fishing fleet. Antonio risked his life to save Elena's father and his crew, returning exhausted but alive. In that moment, Elena saw him not as a replacement for her past love, but as a kind soul and a strong thread that could help her mend her own life. They married a year later, building a life rooted in mutual respect and the shared understanding of those who had weathered the worst of the storm. The decades that followed were a riot of colors and textures as Elena and Antonio grew old together. They raised 3 children and watched the village transform through seasons of change, technological growth, and shifting governments. Elena realized that the tapestry of life isn't made of a single color. It requires the vibrant reds of joy, the deep blues of sorrow, the earthy browns of resilience, and the silver threads of wisdom. She once feared that losing Marco had ruined her life's work, but she eventually understood that it simply changed the pattern. The art of living, she discovered, lies in the ability to tie new knots and incorporate the unexpected threads that life provides. Now, speaking to a new generation, she urges them not to cling too tightly to a perfect image of how things should be. Life will inevitably offer frayed edges and broken strands, but as long as one's hands are capable, the weaving never truly stops. The most beautiful designs are those that tell a story through every mended tear and every new color, reflecting the enduring strength of the human spirit. Her life remains an unfinished work, a testament to the beauty found in the resilience of a heart that refuses to stop weaving.